Greetings, fellow muckers. Today, we'll be working on a monopolist profit maximization problem. The problem. A monopolist produces two goods. The demand for the first good is Q1 equal 4 minus 2P1 plus P2, and the demand for the second good is Q2 equal 4 plus P1 minus 2P2. The firm's cost function is CQ1Q2 equal to Q1 plus Q2. Find the profit maximizing prices and quantities. Now pause this video, take a few minutes, and solve this problem. Welcome back. Hopefully you were able to solve this problem. Now let's work on it together. So we need to find the profit maximizing prices and quantities. So what is the monopolist problem here? How are we going to approach this? Well, the goal of the monopolist is to maximize profits. So we're looking to maximize profits subject to our prices of P1 and P2. And how are we going to maximize profits? Or what is the profit equation in general? It's our revenues minus our costs. So what's that going to be? That's going to be equal to P1 times Q1 plus P2 times Q2 minus Q1 minus Q2. Now if we expand this, we get max profit P1 P2 is going to be equal to P1, and now we plug in our Q1 demand, so 4 minus 2 P1 plus P2 plus P2, 4 plus P1 minus 2 P2 minus Q1, 4 minus 2 P1 plus P2 minus 4 plus P1 minus 2 P2. Now, if we simplify this, we'll get maximized profits P1, P2 equal to 5P1 plus 5P2 plus 2P1 P2 minus 2P1 squared minus 2P1 squared. So now we have the simplified profit. Now from here, how are we going to solve for our P1s? Well, we need to take our first order condition with respects to P1 and P2. So if we first take our first order condition with respects to P1, we'll get 5 minus 4P1 plus 2P2 equal to 0. Now if we take our first order conditions with respects to P2, we'll get 5 minus 4P2 plus 2P1 equal to 0. And now we have two equations. And now we have to use system substitution, elimination, any sort. We have a system of equations. So now we need to solve for either P1 or P2. So what I'm going to do I'm going to eliminate P1. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to take this equation, so let's call this equation 1, and call this equation 2. I'm going to take equation 1 of 5 minus 4 P1 plus 2 P2. I'm going to times it by 2. And I'm going to get 10 minus 8 P1 plus 4 P2. Now that I have this, I'm going to add this equation to equation 2. So we get 10 minus 8 P1 plus 4 P2 plus 5 minus 4 P2 plus 2 P1. As you see, our P2s cancel out. And then we're left with 15 minus 6P1 is equal to 0. So now we can solve for P1. P1 is going to be equal to 6 over 15, which is equal to 3. Actually, not 6 over 15. P1 is equal to 15 over 6. And this is going to be equal to 2 over 5, and this is equal to 2.5. So P1 is 2.5, and then what is P2 going to be? Well, we can plug in P1 into either equations 1 or 2 to find P2. So we can, this is the first equation. We get 5 minus 4 times 2.5 plus 2P2 equal to 0. We'll get 5 minus 9 plus 2P2 equal to 0. We'll get actually this is 10, and then we get 2P2 equal to 5 divided by 2, and we get P2 equal to 2.5 as well. Yep, 2.5 as well. So P1 and P2 are both going to be equal to 2.5 or $2.50. And how do we find the quantities? Well, now that we found our P1 and P2 values being 2.5, we can now solve for quantities. So now we just use our demand for the first good, which is 4. So Q1 is equal to 4 minus 2 times 2.5 plus 2.5, and this is going to be equal to 4 minus 10. Wait, no, 4 minus 5 plus 2.5, which is going to be equal to 1.5. Q1 is equal to 1.5, and then same thing for Q2, which is going to be 4 plus 2.5 minus 2 times 2.5. So this is equal to 6.5 minus 5. And this Q2 is also going to be equal to 1.5. So Q1 and Q2 are both 1.5. And P1 and P2 are both 2.5s. And those are the monopolist profit maximizing prices and quantities for this problem. I hope this video helped. If it did, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thank you.